One question that's paramount on every mutual fund investor is dividend or growth. It gains significance in light of the new taxation rules that have come up in this budget. In today's Investors Hangout, we will tackle these two questions. This episode is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. With me is the CEO of Value Research, Dhirendra Kumar. Dhirendra, we welcome you.
Thank you.
And the question that's paramount that I said is growth or dividend? And particularly so in light of the LTCG and the DDT that on equity funds that we're talking about these days. What should an investor be doing? Investing in dividend and dividend reinvestment plans?
It always made sense when you were investing in equity because it is a gradual accumulation vehicle. One should not have been investing in dividend plans or dividend reinvestment plans. But investors, for some historic reason, one is that investors feel happy when they get some periodic dividend. They think that their investment is working, it's performing. If you get some dividend, that's one. And then that is a myth around it. And there was absolutely no penalization. There was no penalty for investors choosing a dividend plan because the dividend was completely tax-free. So was long-term capital gains tax. If you held an investment, no longer. It's a very important question, and it is a very important issue which every investor should address it right away, because today, investing in dividend option or investing in the dividend distribution, reinvestment option, it will hurt your interest, because the moment you get the dividend, even if you don't need the money will get reduced by 10%. So your investment is in equity for many, many years. It's a long-term investment. You are investing in equity for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, whatever be the period. And any periodic dividend that you get, that will get reduced by 10% because 10% dividend distribution tax is applicable on all dividend payments, which was not so far. It will hurt your interest. Your dividend payout gets reduced. So investors should, work hard to make sure that, they are not investing in the dividend plans. They are not investing in the dividend distribution plan. They should be investing in the growth plan. And you should take your money out because these are open-end funds. You can choose the time and amount of money that you need, how much money you need, and when do you want it. You can take it out anytime. And when you withdraw partially from a mutual fund, it is very convenient. One is that you can actually do a programmed instructions. You can give a standing instruction that at a certain, that is called, it is a reverse of SIP, which is systematic withdrawal plan. But even if it is not systematic, even if it is ad hoc, even if it is less periodic, even if it is an annual thing, or once in a while you need a part of your money, you don't need it in the form of a dividend. You should be taking that money when you need it, and you should take the amount of money which you think either you need it, or you can adjust the amount that you need based on the performance of your investment. Because dividend, many times you used to get a part of your money which may not have performed well. If you invest ₹1,00,000 and if the fund company decides to give you a 5,000 rupee dividend, then your capital gets reduced to 95,000 rupees. Today you can actually choose when your funds are doing well, when they are performing, and if you need the money, take it out. So move your money, all your money in equity funds or balanced funds from the dividend distribution, dividend plans or the dividend reinvestment plan immediately. And this will be complicated. It will, because you will have to redeem your investment. It cannot be done without by just giving an instruction. You can fill a form, give the fund company an instruction, it will move the money, but it will have an implication. Your units will be redeemed and they will be invested in the growth plans.
Okay. So what Dhirendra is saying is that equity is a long-term investment and you should let your money make the most of compounding, right? By keeping it invested through the growth option.
Yes.
Right? And instead of partially getting it back through dividend. And he explained to you how your money reduces. What about, now this is about the equity funds, what about the debt funds? Should one go with dividend option or growth option even here?
One is that there is absolutely no change in this budget on the tax front about debt fund. There is a status quo. It exists the way it was. But even in debt funds, the growth plan works better. It is more rewarding because the dividend distribution tax on debt fund is nearly 20, it's about 29% for individuals. It's 34% for companies. So 29% is comparable to the highest tax bracket. So if you're in the lower tax bracket, it is better to take it in the form of, even because your alternative is that if you invest in a debt fund in the growth option, you take some return in the form of capital gains. It will be added to your income. And if you are falling in the 5% tax rate or 10% tax rate or 20% tax rate, it is lower than the dividend distribution tax.
Right.
So the dividend plan there also will hurt, will actually be more than the general tax liability. Only in the highest tax bracket, there is a very marginal tax differentiation, 1% less, which is insignificant. So I would suggest that, even debt in fixed income investors should always invest in, even while investing in debt fund, you should invest in the growth option. There is another advantage of it. If you hold it for 3 years, indexation and 20% tax rate actually reduces your tax bill substantially. Because in case of debt fund, the indexation means that the money adjusted for inflation for 3-year holdings and more. So the remaining returns, the remaining appreciation will be so insignificant that and paying 20% of those gains is much less. So I would suggest that the growth plans works better even in case of debt fund. Long time ago there was a differential, there was a tax arbitrage. The dividend distribution tax wasn't there for individuals, it was there for companies, and then it was substantially lower. It was 10%, initially it was 7.5% or so, and 10%, but today that differential is gone. So mutual funds, choose the growth option. That's the best way to go about it.
Okay. And what about those who need regular income from their fund investments? Would you recommend dividend option to them?
No, even for them it doesn't make sense, because the mutual fund as a vehicle, the open-end funds, you can take a part of your money back anytime. So the withdrawal plans actually work better from a taxation point of view, because let me give you an example. Right. If you invest a crore of rupees, and if you are taking 1 lakh, I'm just giving this large number for
an example.
And for ease of calculation.
Yeah. Okay.
If you invest a crore of rupees, and if you decide to withdraw 1 lakh rupees every month, and your 1 crore rupee increases to 1 crore 1 lakh rupees, and you decide to withdraw 1 lakh rupees next month, you are not taking only the appreciation, you are actually redeeming a part of your units. And so your 1 crore remains constant, and you have taken 1 lakh rupees, assuming that this was done with a bank deposit. You take all this 1 lakh rupees, that the interest that has accrued on your investment, it will be completely taxable. Here, your 1 lakh rupee is primarily, a substantial part of it will be actually withdrawing your capital from a taxation point of view. Right. So the tax incidence on this will be hardly anything. So the withdrawal plans is much more tax efficient. You are, tax wise, it'll look like as if you are taking a part of your capital. Your appreciation on the remaining investment remains intact. Your investment is doing okay, but the tax bill will be lower. So on top of it, you will have full control on when you need the money. Right. You will also have a greater control on what part of your gains you are taking out. You can also be flexible about it. And this is all done with great ease. Today you can give a standing instruction to a fund company, which is called systematic withdrawal plan. It is the reverse of SIP. You say that, okay, this much money, this much of my money should get credited to my account by redeeming my investment on a specific day of the month, and till my money remains
just
there.
Like SIP.
Just like SIP, inverse of that. It works better, it is tax efficient, and everything is in your control, and that is how it should be.
Okay. What Dhirendra is saying is, please keep it simple, go for growth option, and put in place a systematic withdrawal plan
for
if you
periodic
need
income.
Steady income stream.